Hey guys, welcome back to Just Carve Rob, and look what that Jordy Johnson at Carve Infusion has talked me into doing. He's like, Rob, why don't you film painting your guys? The people at YouTube will love it. I'm like, yeah, okay, I don't think they're gonna love it, Jordy. I mean, I think it's gonna be pretty freaking boring for them to watch me paint these guys, right? So, if you don't like me painting, get a hold of that Jordy Johnson at Carving Fusion, Jordy Johnson, and leave him a note. You know, say, hey Jordy, why do you got Rob painting? It's Just Carve Rob, not just paint Rob. Right? I don't know. I have got a mess. I have got a bunch of paint sitting here and all kinds of stuff laying around here in my way. So, anyhow, we're going to paint Elvis. He's a zombie. So we are going to use this blue called French Blue. We'll see what it looks like on him. If we don't like it, I think we'll start with one hand here. We'll paint it. And we'll see. I don't know. That might be too blue for a zombie. Let's put some light gray in there with it. So what I'll do is we will move our zombie out of the way here. Paint is such a mess, guys. We'll put a couple drops. Oh, there's a paint booger. Put a couple drops of this blue in our mix board. Now I got blue all over me. Alright. Put our brush in the water. And let's see, what is the lightest? Granite Gray is pretty light. So let's put a drop of Granite Gray in there, just a drop, like that. And then we will mix it up. Put a couple drops of water in there. And we'll mix that gray in. So we got a little bit on his hand right now. Now that definitely changed the color. I don't know if it went the right way or the wrong way on the color, guys. I think we want a little lighter yet. Let's put another drop of gray in there. We don't want to overdo it either. A couple more drops of water. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Here we go. We'll mix that up. Maybe a little white. Maybe some white will do it too. Got all my paintbrushes over here. Most of these paintbrushes are from like Walmart. Okay, that definitely lightened it up some more. I don't know. I think we need a little lighter yet, though. I think he's still a little too blue. A little too blue. Do I have any white up here? No? Guess not. Let's put another drop of gray in there. Bloop. I think that. See, the hard part is with mixing your paints is you don't really know. Oh yeah, that's better. You don't really know what color they're going to be until they're totally dry. We're just going to pull his hand out a little bit. So we can get all the way around it. I think that might be the color we're looking for. We don't want it too blue, but we don't want it totally gray either. So we can't paint it flesh color because he's a zombie, right? So that means there's no blood going through his body, so he's not going to be pink. And for some reason, humans, without their blood circulating, turn gray. Maybe that's why the gray aliens are gray. Maybe they don't have no blood. Okay. Probably, yeah, I'm way out of the camera. Let me slide in here a little bit more. Way out of focus. Not even in the camera. There, now we are. See, that's the color gray we came up with. Just mixed a little together. That's the original color. Huh. Okay, of course we got some on the jumpsuit. We got some there. We got some here. That's the problem with paint. Is it likes to get all over everything. See, I got it on my hand, so we're getting paint transfer. The other thing you got to remember when you're mixing paint, guys, is either write it down how many drops of different colors you're mixing together, in case you got to go back and do some touch up. I like to get all, like if I'm doing a flesh color, I like to get it all, everything painted down in that flesh color first. And then everything else will come back and repaint with the proper colors, like the eyes will be white. To make them a little bit scarier. I don't know if we're going to put pupils in. Just leave his eyes white. Or if we're going to give him red pupils. Okay, that brush is getting to be a little bit too wide for the areas we're going into here. I hope this lightens up a little bit once it dries. Still a little too blue. But we'll let it dry, and if we got to paint back over it again, so be it. We'll just say this was our base coat, primer coat. Now here's the weird thing I found. Some areas of this basswood will suck in a lot more paint. So even though you've looked and looked and looked and you think you've got it all painted, you'll get cracks in the paint. And when you're painting, make sure you take that guy and turn him every which way from Sunday to make sure you're getting all of the areas. You don't want to see white. Don't want to see the white. Of the basswood poking through there. So this is what I call, we've pretty much got them fleshed out, right? But we'll leave this blue color, this blue-gray color, we will leave it sit here. And we'll come back to it just in case the wood sucks it all in. Doggone it, Jordy. Making me paint this on video. Okay, I think that has got I think we're good enough there. Good enough with the blue, I think, guys. Always keep a rag next to you, so when you clean your brushes, you can keep them clean as you go. You don't want to let your brushes sit with paint on them. And for cleaning my brushes, I'm using water with a little Fantastic in it. Trick Rich over there at Choose Your Own Path picked up from an airbrusher that he knows. Blood Army, I think he is. He does a lot of airbrushing. I think that was the name of his channel, Blood Army. I can't remember. That guy, he's an awesome airbrushing guy. So that's what our zombie guy looks like so far. So we gotta let the face and the hands dry. Okay, so we're gonna set him over, back off out of the way. Okay, and I've been working on my bigger wizard. He got his hands painted, his cloak is painted, we painted his staff. So I'm going to pull his hand off with the staff, get it out of my way. Tell you, detachable hands, guys. Detachable hands. So I'm going to go wash my hands since I've got blue all over them. So we don't want to transfer the blue onto this guy here. We'll move these hands back into one of these trays. Our zombie hands, we get them out of the way. And I'm going to get what color? Right here. We're going to use this ivy for our eyes. This is what I always use for eyes, is this ivy color. Okay, so let me wash my hands and we'll get back to this guy. We'll get his eyes painted in, and then we'll go back and we'll paint his eyebrows in and his beard while Zombie Elvis is waiting in the corner. And I'll be right back. Let me get my hands cleaned up. All right, got our hands all clean. Now we're going to move on to this ivory color. Wow, that is thick. Get that watered down a little bit. The thing I found with these, like this is apple barrel paint. The longer you have it, the thicker it gets. So, as you're using your, if you paint, as you're using your paint, don't be afraid to put a little water in it, so that you can keep that paint at the same, what do you want to call it? Thickness, veracity, whatever you want to call it. Viscosity, like motor oil, the thickness of motor oil. Well, we're not dealing with motor oil, we're dealing with paint. Okay, I've got this little hair sticking out on my brush, and it's getting white, that paint on it, and it is touching where it shouldn't be touching. So we're just going to take the scissors and give this paintbrush a little trim job. There. And back over there. Okay. Now I see some white spots that are showing up. I should have checked it before I started painting the eyes, but I see these white spots that are now showing up here. So we're going to have to go back in there with our flesh color. Get my cap on straight and touch up those areas. I use a medium flesh. This is Delta Cream Coat. I go with whatever the cheapest paint is. I'm not loyal to one brand, guys. If I'm at Hobby Lobby or Walmart and they've got the paint on sale, you can lay money that I'll be buying whatever's on sale. Okay, so I've gone to a smaller brush. We're almost to the point where we got to get our jeweler's glasses back on to see what we're doing here. Have you guys checked out Pete with Pete? Jordy got our package, and Pete posted a picture of Pete with Pete, our little guy Pete. I didn't know how good they were going to look together until I actually seen the two of them side by side. It's like, look, twins. I was working off some pictures Jordy sent me of Pete and Pete. Believe me, I am no type of sculptor where I can make things look like other things. I got lucky that Pete came out looking like Pete. Okay, so we have, looks like we have all of our spots taken care of. I think so, yeah. I think we got them all taken care of. A little bit right there. Okay. And now I can see that when we painted our flesh color in, up under the hood there, it looks like we got a little bit of that flesh up underneath the hood. So now I have to remember what color I painted the, was it raw lumber? I don't know. Guess we'll find out. We'll squirt a little bit of it up underneath there. Put a little bit of paint up in there. Yep, it was raw lumber. Where that flesh color got a little crazy up underneath there. So I painted his cloak last night, so it's plenty dry. But I can't believe the weight, how much of this, how much paint this cloak sucked up. It actually gained weight. It sucked up so much. Alright, he's looking pretty good. I don't see any terrible spots on the rest of them. Okay, so I think we're going to give him blue eyes. I think this is the same color we're going to paint our zombies' shoes. I don't know, that maybe need to get grayed up some more. Still looking a little blue. Okay. This is what I do to put the pupils in. Take my paintbrush and I poke it down in there. Get paint just on the end of my paintbrush. And there we go, pupils. It's got blue eyes. But of course, somehow we got some blue up here. It's still wet enough I can take a wet paintbrush and wipe it out of there. Okay? We just take that wet brush. The water dilutes the paint enough. Get that blue cap out there. Water dilutes the paint enough where we can use the paintbrush to sweep it out of there. And now I just got blue all over my finger because I touched the top of the paint bottle. What am I doing here? And if you can't get enough of it out, you can just go back in there with the flesh color. I think he'll be fine. I think he looks all right. And go back in with the flesh color and redo around his eyes. Okay, so let's get that out of here so we don't get no more blue all over us. All right, so what's next? We have to paint. This is all wood burnt, his beard here, guys. So what we're going to do next is what we call dry brushing. Okay, so we're going to take some of this pewter gray. We're going to put just a dab of it here in the middle. Oh, that might be too gray. Might be, that's pretty dark gray. Let's put a dab of the light granite gray with it. Lighten it up just a little bit. Just the, come on. It's hanging on for dear life, guys. There it is. Okay. And of course we'll put a little drop of water on them. Ooh, look at that. Isn't that cool? Shoo, sucking it all in there. Why didn't the other gray do that? Okay, then we'll mix them together. Okay, now I am dabbing my paintbrush on this paper towel. Okay. So we're not putting a ton of gray down. Now you don't have to just go with one coat. You can, a lot of times I will put down the gray and then I'll go back over it with a lighter color gray. Just to build up the color palette a little bit, so it's not all one solid color. But with the wood burner in there, it's going to give them that, I think it's going to give them like that salt and pepper effect. You know what salt and pepper is? Where the gentlemen have the, it's a little bit gray, it's gray and got that gray and that black speck look. Call that salt and pepper. I'm getting quite of that salt and pepper going on myself. More salt though, I think. I've always had, I guess they call it dirty blonde hair. It's blonde, but it's not super blonde. And now the blonde is turning to white. It's amazing how things change as you get older. That was way too much. It looks like I got some of that flesh color onto his mustache Must have been when I originally painted it. So we will take some, probably the same thing, that dark umber color. With a small brush. And the areas we couldn't get the wood burner in. Yeah, that's, believe it or not, that's a pretty good match for the wood burner color. And we will go in here and get that flesh tone, that flesh color. We'll go in there and we will cover that up. There we go. I think that's about got it. We can get up there a little bit. Well, our time is ticking away. Can't believe we've already been at this for like 16 minutes. Okay, I think that's pretty much got it. Now all we got to do is come back in and finish doing our wash on that guy, and he will be painted. Oh, we got, oh, forgot his eyebrows. Those are really flesh colored, so we're gonna have to, we're just gonna take this dark umber now. We may have to set them off to the side to let them dry a little bit, because I think it would make a mess if we just go ahead and try painting the gray right over that. He does have hairs cut in his eyebrows, just in case you were wondering. Okay. Trying to get the top of them eyebrows. Okay. So we'll come back in with some gray. And we'll do that. So our 20 minutes is up, guys. So just carve every day, be awesome, share, subscribe, and like if you want to. And I think we're going to end this one right here. Thanks for subscribing. We're almost up to 300. We're pretty close. We're breathing hard on 300. I think it was like 290 or 288 or something like that. So thanks a lot, guys, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.